So welcome back, everyone. It's a very exciting day today. We've got a little update on the adventure van. I am heading down the mountain into town to pick up the bed from the upholsterer. I found there's just this charming little Asian lady that has an upholstery shop about an hour away from here that I dropped off the panels to that she upholstered, and I'm super excited to see them. I don't really know what to expect, but just judging from some of her other work, she does beautiful work. Very talented seamstress or upholsterer. What do you call someone? Let alone a female upholsterer person. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's go check that out. It's beautiful. Oh, isn't that nice? You do such nice work.
Yeah, then you can roll. I figured that one going here, so at the door.
Yep.
Okay.
Turned out pretty good, didn't it? Man, she did a great job on the upholstery. It looks just like factory. So I'll bring you in here and show you kind of how I did it. But the design here is 3 panels. So we can take it out. I can take them out really quickly. Here, I'll bring you over here closer. Isn't that beautiful? Man, there's a lot of work she put into that. Look at the detail, the contour. I chose this commercial grade a wool blend of fabric that is warm, it's soft to the touch, and it's supposed to be really durable. And underneath I had her put some really high quality, the highest density foam that she could get, because we like to sleep on a really firm bed. But look at the detail and how well that she did that. Just turned out so nice. It's 4 inches thick. And the bed turned out to be almost a full queen. Here's the bottom side. Of course, we did the aluminum frame. Now, to secure the cushions to the frame, I used a 1/2 inch veneered plywood. So it's a high density plywood that's T-nutted. So these stainless steel screws, there's about a dozen of them in each panel, go through and lock into T-nuts, metal connectors, which are really good. I see a lot of kind of motorhome type of stuff where they just take like drywall screws and thread it into the plywood. That's not a very good way to do it. Over time it loosens up and it tears out. This way these can be taken off and they need to be recovered or repaired or whatever, and it's just never going to pull out. And to secure it to the frame rails on the Transit, I use these 5/16 riv nuts with these knobs, these plastic knobs on here. So to remove each panel, I just have to undo these thumb screws, and the panels come right out, and we can store them or use one or use 2 or stack them up on top of each other, or just not use them at all in case we have to load something big in there. Another part of the design that I am really pleased with is the way that these panels mount on here. This is something that I came up with myself. I didn't want any squeaking, and I'm happy to report that there is 0 squeaking. I locked it all down and drove it home, and that's on account of these high density plastic rails that I put inside the channel. So those snap tight inside there, and then they ride on top of this channel right here, giving it a bearing surface. So there's no metal to metal contact, it's isolated. And I also had her overhang these cushions 1/4 inch, so that these are tight. It takes some effort. You have to kind of press them together, but there's not a seam or a crack that you're going to fall into, and there's no metal coming in contact with each other, which would cause a squeak. So it's absolutely rock solid, no squeaking, and it sits on top of this vinyl track, kind of this C track here. Just worked out so good. Here's a little better angle, but these bearings fit in here nice and tight so they don't come out. Snap in there. Here's the other side. Gorgeous. This is exactly why I went with the aluminum, because these panels are not heavy, they're manageable. They don't weigh very much and they're easy to move around. I don't suspect I'll put them in or take them out very often, but to me it was worth the effort to make them modular like this, so we could. So I have an option. I mean, if that day comes you need to go get a refrigerator or a major appliance or something really big. My old van, I just couldn't do that because the bed, it would take hours to take it out. But this one, not so. And not only that, but we don't always want may not always want a full bed in here. I'll show you what the other reason for the 3-panel. So just a quick review of the layout. So the front seats those will be on swivels. I'll order those here soon, and those will swivel around so they face the 2 jump seats in the back that we put in. Because I designed this, it's got to be able to sleep and to seat 4 people comfortably. So I've got a really clever hinge system kind of in my head, how we'll make a fold-up panel right there, table right there, so that these seats will spin around, and then we'll have a nice living area that we could all sit at and eat and play cards or games or whatever. That'll be the living area. Now, of course, then we've got the bed back here, and an important aspect of it is to have some move-around room here. So one of the things that we're going to be spending a lot of time in the van is taking it skiing. And what's really nice, especially when you have kids and you're getting ready, and is to have a place that you can pull up there, and it's not being a rush. It's hard to put ski boots on and deal with all the clothes and all the gears when you get 3 or 4 people in a little car. You end up doing it outside. If it's snowing or the weather's bad, it's just really a drag. Or trying to drag a bunch of bags and stuff up to the lodge is just not very practical. So what we can do is we can just take this panel loose, for example, if we're not going to be spending the night, and we can stack these up. We could just stack them up on the back and just throw like a kayak strap around them, and they could just live there. So if we want the bed, we can just roll it out. We have the bed, but we also, each time, these panels are 24 inches each. We can take one out, and that gives us an extra 2 foot of walk-around living space for gears, bags, skis, or we can do 2 of them. But what I think I'll probably do is just remove this one panel and then sit it towards the back, and then we have lots of room there. We got 7 feet, 6, 7 feet area right there where everyone can kind of get around and put your boots on and stuff. There'll be a bench right along the side here to sit on. So yeah, I think it was a lot more work to do this, the 3 panels setup, but I'm so glad that I did. I was really tempted just to make one big monolithic bed and just live with it, but this is so many. It gives you so many more options, and it's so much more versatile. I'll show you underneath too. So as you can see here from the front there, so it's very clean. There's nothing really exposed that looks bad. I put a nice heavy piece of 1/4 inch across here to give it rigidity and stiffness where everyone's going to be landing on the bed and sitting. It's rock solid. And then underneath here you can see those are the knobs right there. Focus, a little dark under here. Those are the knobs to hold everything in place, but very, very clean. The bench and the box that will hold all the water and the hot water heater, the Insta-Hot and all that stuff, that fender well box will go over this, and then of course lock into the eye channels. Those are the eye channels that they use for airplane seats, and it gives me the ability to mount everything solidly to the body and not have to worry about things coming loose in an accident. Those are all tied in with riv nuts, 1/4-20 screws, rock solid. Even way exceeds factory attachments in my opinion. And then of course the plywood panel there will be upholstered in the same fabric as the bed, so it'll be nice and soft and clean. But yeah, I think it turned out really, really good. It looks nice. I had her do the fabric underneath, so we have that continuity. And there's the other panel over there. But very, very pleased with the 3-panel bed. Here you can see how they tie in there. It just sits over top, and No squeaking. Just thrilled. It's really kind of satisfying to, you know, come up with something in your mind. And I've spent countless hours, you know, thinking about this before I started building it. And many times when you're in the prototype stage of things like this, there's always, when you get to the end of the job, there's a little disappointment. Oh, I wish that I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. But I can honestly say I don't think I would do anything different on this. Not at all. I just am thrilled with the way it turned out. It's super lightweight. It's super strong. It looks nice. It's easy to put in, to take out. And yeah, great system. So the next part is even more, it's even more exciting. It's going to be one of the best parts. There's a company in Germany that makes a tiny little gas generator called an S-bar. And it will, it's going to tie into the factory tank. There's actually a port on the top of it we can run a little fuel line and connect to. And it will run this little generator that will mount underneath or inside, and it'll exhaust out the bottom. And it's tiny. It's like the size of one of those big beer cans. And what that will do is that it's a furnace, and so it will run off the fuel in the gas tank. But there's a little tube in there that will only allow it to pick up fuel down to 3/4 of a tank. So if you were to, for example, leave the furnace running and set the temperature in there, and you wanted to keep your van at 70 degrees inside, and you forgot about it, it won't run all your gas out, and then you have no gas to get back to the station. So it'll only take it down to 3/4. The nice thing about it is there's no propane, there's no external fuels, there's none of that fuss. It just ties in beautifully to the factory fuel system. And so what that will allow us to do, it's a couple different things, but the first stage of it is it'll be a furnace inside. So that when we go skiing or go somewhere, we can set that up. We can have it set at 68 degrees, whatever we like, and it will stay there that way for us. And then we can come in for lunch. We don't have ice on the vehicle. We don't have everything being cold. And with kids, you know, that's nice. So that's something we're going to be doing here in a couple days. I just got the email that it came in. We're going to go pick it up. We're going to talk to the guy. It gets better than that though, because with the S-bar is there's this really clever. You'll find out here soon enough. There's this guy that I met that's a couple hours from here that's building a heat exchanger that works with the S-bar. So not only does the S-bar, is it a furnace, but it's also going to provide for us on-demand hot water at 1 gallon a minute. So we could have unlimited hot water in the van for showers or just for cooking or hand washing and stuff. It never runs out. We'd never run out. You could essentially, we'll put a 1 gallon a minute nozzle. It'll be on the back. It'll be kind of an outside shower. I'm not going to do an inside one. But if we were hooked to like a garden hose and not running off the tank water, we could have indefinite hot water up for that amount as long as the S-bar is running. So it is an awesome system. And I'll be sharing that here very soon. So what else was there? Oh, so a lot of folks ask about four-wheel drive. So the Ford Transit vans, these have been available now for 2 years. They do not offer a four-wheel drive option. However, there's 2 companies that I'm aware of in the country that do a factory-authorized four-wheel drive conversion on these. One is Quigley. Of course, you've probably heard of Quigley. The other, very fortunately, is in Northwest Portland called Quad Van. And if you remember my dad's Sportsmobile, they did the four-wheel drive system on that, and they do impeccable work. It is so good that it looks like factory. They use all factory parts off of F-Series pickups. And so we are planning on having the four-wheel drive put on this in the spring. So the reason why there's a waiting list. These vans are so popular right now. I mean, they're just exploding, and you see them everywhere now, especially where we live. That they're backed up. So as soon as we could get on the list to get the four-wheel drive installed was, well, what would they say? It was like 6 or 7 months. So that is coming up soon. So yes, to answer your question, we will be putting four-wheel drive on it. It's just we're on the waiting list. So what else was there? Oh, one last thing let me show you. This is something that I could probably install now, and this is LED strip lighting, really high quality, nice stuff. This is exterior grade. It's rated to be outside, but I'm going to put it inside. And because that we put the bed in, that creates a kind of a dark area underneath of it. And that's primarily where we store a lot of our gear and equipment. So I'm going to run these LED strips 6 feet long under there. I'll tuck those kind of so they'll be inconspicuous, and then these will be tied in with the door system, so when we open up the door or we hit the key fob, that these will come on with the factory lights and light up that whole underneath area. So I've done that in my old van. It was really useful. I just used, you know, old school incandescents, but I haven't used these before. But look at all those LEDs in there. Isn't that cool? Just amazing what technology is bringing us. All right, so that's it for today. Don't forget to click the thumbs up on the videos. It really helps. What do I have coming up? I've got a really interesting blacksmithing project in my mind that I'm fleshing out here over the next few hours that we might do tomorrow. I don't know yet. I picked up the material for it today, so I think I have everything that I need. But it's going to be kind of maybe a short 2 or 3 part series. That I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll turn out really, really nice. It's going to be amazing. All right, thanks for watching. Click the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys on the next video.